If you are thinking about investing in property, is it the right time? There are many changes afoot, and you want to be comfortable once you get into something like that. Once you commit, you're in for the long haul. So we're going to look at a few numbers to see what the interest rates are right now and what those repayments look like right now. So let's get stuck into that. But we'll also think about some of the ways we could adjust things to make it a bit more palatable. So let's get stuck into current interest rates, repayments. Look, it is not that much fun, especially if you're buying in Auckland. You buy something at the 800 mark, 700 mark, you are really, over a 30-year term, you are contributing quite a bit once you take rent out, right? To hold on to that property every week. Now, this is principal and interest. If you decide that you want interest only, and if we can get you interest only for the first 5 years, first 3 years, then of course it looks a little bit more manageable at these interest rates when you are looking at these properties. However, you're still forking out something from your pocket, right, every week to hold on to the property. What I was going to think about though, there's some adjustments we could make, and that is a typical client of mine may, if they've had a home loan, if they've had the existing home loan for say 10 years, and they have got some debt, let's say they've got residual debt of 800 grand. So for their own owner-occupied home, they might be paying something like $1,400, say $1,200 a week to hold on to it at the new interest rates, right? Now, if that couple is looking at maybe a investment property, another adjustment we could make is stretching the existing home loan term that you have. Of course, that could cost you more interest on the long run, so you have to make sure that what you're buying as an investment is going to offset that and still make you some money. But if we did do that, let's say we stretch the term to 30 years, then that same typical client may have their payment drop by a couple of $100 a week, which frees up a little bit more cash flow to be able to hold an investment property a little bit more comfortably. So if we take a couple of $100 off some of these, it brings us a little bit, edges it a bit closer to the rent. Now, in saying that, there are options outside of Auckland as well, and also smaller properties like apartments. It could be that some of these numbers, with adjusting the existing home loan term, getting interest only for the first 3 to 5 years, you could get it to like $300 a week towards something that could actually make your retirement a bit more comfortable. Okay, so these ways of doing it. Now, other things to consider. Of course, you have maintenance, rates and insurance, which used to be a small component, is of course now, depending on the area, something to actually really double check first, especially insurance, of course. If you are looking at investing, the tax changes which the new government might bring in may take a few years to sink in, so cash flow could be a little bit more hindered for the first couple of years. Of course, with older homes, you do have maintenance you've got to consider, and that's actually a real cost. I know that some of the properties I have that are older, that you're forking out at least maybe $3,000 a year. Older ones, $3,000 to $5,000 a year on average. Of course, it's not every year, but you may end up doing a big tidy up once every 5 years, on the property. So those costs are real. Newer builds, of course, have less maintenance but less land for the same money most of the time. So you got to weigh those things up. But look, this is very general advice. Of course, to get specific examples, feel free to contact a financial advisor such as myself. I can kind of do a few scenarios and see what is going to be comfortable over the long term. Anything you do like this, of course, it has implications over the next 7 to 10 years. Property is not a short-term thing, because you can enter a lull, which means you hold on to stuff for a little while. So feel free to get in touch. Thank you for listening.